Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another fly tying with Life by the Fly. So what we have in the vise today is a pheasant tail, just a run-of-the-mill simple pheasant tail. This is a size 16, very common size for this. I do tie a lot of mine without a bead, some with a bead, but the steps do not vary. So let's go ahead and get started. The hook that I'm putting inside my vise is going to be a size 16, and it is a 060 nymph hook, 1X long. So let me go ahead and get one of those out. And if you have the opportunity to get midge jaws, I do recommend to go ahead and get midge jaws. Okay, the thread I'm using is Phoebus 10-aught, and I'm going to go ahead and lay down a thread about an eye's length behind the eye. And once I get to about the hook point, I'm going to go ahead and snip off my tag. And I'm going to continue back and then come back forwards. Alright, I'm going to go with some 15 thousandths lead. And I'm going to go ahead and lay some lead down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. About 4 wraps is all you need. This is kind of a tiny fly. So what I want to do is build a little dam behind the eye, come in front of it, and build a little dam in front of the lead, that way so it doesn't want to move on me. Alright, now that I am to the back, I'm going to go ahead and get me a piece of natural hare's line ringneck pheasant, and these are good feathers. You can find these at pretty much any old fly shop. They all have it. And what I want to do is pick me off about 4 or 5 strands. Not very big. You don't need a whole lot. As you can tell, it's not like a crazy ordeal. Just snip it free. This is going to be your tail and body. And what you want to do is you want to get a measuring point, and your hook generally has all your measurements. So what I'm doing is I am measuring out my tail. I generally want it to be about a hook shanks in length. And then my tie-in point is going to be over top of the barb. So as you can tell, it went right over top of the barb. I pull back, and when I'm pulling back, I'm just pulling this back over because I'm going to use that as my body. Now, the next step I'm going to do is use some ultra wire and small. And this is going to be for my ribbing. Now, if you're like me and you have trouble you break your wire off too clean, just take the little cap off, get some out, and just put it right back. So, take that, go ahead and break you off a piece, and lay that on the side facing you, and go ahead and tie that in. And then go back, and I stop right over top of the last wrap of thread, the last wrap of lead, sorry. So now the next step I want to do is just wrap this pheasant all the way up. You're going to have some that are going to break free. Pheasant is not the most durable. That's why you do put ribbing on it. And once you get about to where your thread is, go ahead and tie that off. So I've got that nice and tied off. You generally can break it free. So what I'm going to do now is create my ribbing, and I'm going to come through. I'll make nice even wraps, trying to create a nice even abdomen. Thorax, yeah, abdomen. I always get them backwards. So now I got it down. There we go. Oh, one of my wraps slid free when I was tying down. There we go. Check on that in a second. Go ahead and helicopter that free. And we go. So take a look at it. Yeah, it came free a little bit. And slide that up with my fingernail. Okay, and I'm going to wrap back to right about there. Now, the next step is to pull off enough to make a wing case, and I like a generous amount. These are also going to be your wing case and legs, so what you want to do is you want to put the shiny side facing down. So I'm putting the shiny side facing down, and I'm just going to tie that in. I want to make sure that this stays on top. That's the key. So you want to make sure this stays on top. And go ahead and snip out the remaining. Now, I put a little bit of flash in this next step, but some peacock herl is always good to tie in, give you the nice little body, and about just 2 strands. 2 strands is fine. So I take the 2 strands and I cut about 1 inch off because peacock herl, the tips are very fragile. And now what I'm doing is tying back the peacock, and I'm just going to tie that in. 1, 2, 3. You don't need many wraps. And tie that off. And I got that tied off. And I'm going to just snip that free. Now with the wing case that you created, you want to just pull that over, hold it in place, and settle it down and get a good bite on it. Double check to make sure it's sitting on top. And now you want to separate these. You can do so after you get it with your fingertips. And what you want to do after you separate them is push it back. This takes a little bit to separate. You can skip this step. You actually can finish this part off. It's not a really big deal. But this, to me, kind of gives it like a little bit of a buggier look. But after you got the legs spread off to the side, I snip them about the length of the thorax. And then the last step, create you a little head. I do it with a whip finish. And you're done. Then you have yourself a pheasant tail, and you're good to go. As you can tell, it's a very simple pattern to tie. It doesn't take a lot of effort. It's quick and simple, but very attractive fly, very productive. So if you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button, and leave any questions and comments, even advice down below. And I will catch y'all again later. My next videos are probably going to be on some two flies. So I'll get back to you. Bye.